What is a childhood memory that has helped shape you?
My mom caught me giving a security man the exact house location of where we lived.
Being with my mom has helped shape me for who I am today.
You're listening to me. Unless you want my best friend, my husband, and my mother to know, don't tell me things.
Asking for what I deserve.
If somebody can't change what you're about to comment on in the next 5 seconds, don't say it.
I always wanted to be Oprah.
My mom loves to scroll.
I thought you were going to be like, I'm going to be Jofra. Oh, it's even better.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Burj Banter episode on Press Pause with Jouhayna. On today's episode, I have Shahad, also known as Khaleejette.
Hi.
Okay, so you're the guest, so you go first.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Mashallah. I was eyeing it the whole time.
Oh, you were? I was like, this is mine. Okay. I'm going to ask you the question.
Sure.
What did you want me to answer the question?
It's up to you, whatever feels right.
Okay. Jouhayna, what is a childhood memory that has helped shape you?
A childhood memory that has helped shaped me is it's actually the stories that I've been told, you know, from my grandma and my mom and everyone. I would always just go check up on people. So I remember my grandma, whenever she had to go like get her medical checks done, there was the hospital we went to. It was kind of like a L-shaped hospital. Mm-hmm. It was only like 1 or 2 floors. I remember it was like a government hospital in 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐽𝐻. And there was a policeman there. And my father was in the police as well. So my grandma, like, you know, after she finished her blood work, I think she had to eat and then take her blood work again or something like that. We had to wait for what felt like a long time when I was like a couple years old. And then I go up to this guy and I go, "Are you a policeman?" And I imagine this little mixed kid with like big curly hair, and you know, my grandma used to like really dress me up well. Like I don't have any of these cringy photos.
She's like, I was fabulous since I was a baby.
Exactly. So yeah, and then he goes, "Yeah, I am." And then I was like, "My papa is also police.
You should know him."
And then I was like, I have to check up on him, of course.
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing today? Like, you know. And then I think I might have had like a sweet or something with me and I gave it to him. He's like, "Oh, where's your mother?" Stranger danger, you know? So then he took me back to my grandma and he's like, "Oh, she's a really nice little girl and whatever." And like, you know, so I've always, since I was a child, just given everything I have to everyone. I'm just
That's
like,
so sweet.
you know? So I think it's more of a memory that was shared with me of my actions as a child, more than anything. But yeah, to this day I do that, but then I get taken advantage of a lot because of that, unfortunately. But I just see it as, if it doesn't take from me and I'm left with less, then just give it away, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's actually so beautiful. That's so sweet. But the way you said that, you were like, I need to check up on them. I'm like, she was about to start her podcast when she was 5.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And I was always told, I would just go up to people and like, "How are you?" And like even but then I would like always overshare. So I've always been an overshare since I was a kid. So also my mom caught me giving a security man the exact house location of where we lived in Carrefour at 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐽𝐻 Center. And he's like, "Oh, where do you live?" And I'm like, "Do you know this house? It's near the beach and it's villa number." And my mom's like, "Jouhayna, no. We can check up on people and ask how they are. But if they ask follow-up questions, you just smile."
Yeah, oh, that's so cute though.
So yeah, but I was always like a little oversharer and like checking on everyone. And like I would always feeding everyone, actually.
Food, lollipop. This is same as she is today. I love that. Like that's it. It shaped you, but it's not just shaped you. It is who you are.
Yeah, exactly. What about you?
Mine. Look, what is a childhood memory that has helped shape me? It's very hard because like my life is like filled with trauma.
Gross.
Yeah. So, and there are like some things that have happened in my life that helped shape me to who I am today. Like I'm a very strong person. I think one of the things that really helped shape me is that, so my parents are divorced. So my parents got divorced when I was 6, I think 6 or 7. So I always grew up in a single parent household. My mom was the person who, was everything. She was a mother, she was a father, she was, taking care of us. She was everything. And I think being with my mom has helped shape me for who I am today. Like, I see the world differently, and I'm very independent now because my mom had to be independent. That I feel like there are so many moments that, like, if I look at my peers, they're like, how do you know how to do all of these things? Or how do you know how to think this way? I'm like, I've always known. And now I realize it's because, like, my mom was my model and she was very independent. That now I can do, like, I have the courage to do things by myself. You know what I mean? So I think that for me, like, my mother has shaped who I am today. And, like, I am who I am, and I am the strong person that I am because my mom was my hero.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. My mom also was a very hyper independent woman, and she still is. And I also feel like she's helped make me hyper independent.
Yeah.
So when I got married, I was like, who does not have to do stuff for me?
Yes.
I don't trust you to do it right.
Yes.
Did you experience the same thing?
100%. And it took a long time for me to be able to, like, step into what I would call the feminine energy.
Yes.
Because I was like, no, I can do this. I want to do this. But then I was like, no, you have to let the person do it for you,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
he has to step into his masculine energy, you have to step into your feminine energy. But I also can be independent when I need to be, I don't depend on anyone to do things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, now it's been around 4 years. This month is actually 4 years we've been together.
Oh, mashallah. Congrats.
Not us, me and my husband.
Congrats to us. Yeah. She's like, this podcast has been 4 years.
So, yeah. And then, so my husband is very chivalrous, which I never thought would be a trait that I would enjoy this much.
Yeah.
Being once a very hyper independent woman. Again, as you mentioned, when I need to be independent, I got it down.
Yeah.
But this man actually thinks I can't handle life on my own. I was like, I've gotten into my feminine so hard.
Yeah.
So he'll always tell me when we're walking, he's like, don't open the door, don't open the door. Because I'm just there. I'm opening the door for everyone. I'm just like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't open the door, don't open the door. I was like, okay. So now I've gotten so used to that. The other day I went out without him and I'm standing in front of a door and I'm waiting for it to open. To like, why doesn't it open? It should be automatic. Also, where's my husband?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm ashamed, but I'll share it anyway.
No, you're like, now I need to open doors.
I need to open doors that aren't automatic.
Yeah. No, but it's important to, show, like, it's part of your love language. So, like, even to just let him do things for you, where I was like, before I did literally everything by myself, So it's important to be able to start stepping into the feminine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it has helped me step into that, but also it takes a very specific person to feel safe enough to go from your masculine to your feminine.
Yes.
Because even when I'm at work, my voice deepens while I talk to pilots.
Oh, wow.
Because that's how into my masculine I have to go.
Yeah.
To command, and also have that self-confidence, but also to command the frequency and just be like, you're listening to me.
Yeah, yeah.
You're doing as I say.
I am the captain now.
I am the captain now. Exactly. Yeah, like 100%. So, okay, so it just goes back on the top. Yeah. All right. Oh, I love your nail polish. So
Thank you, Chrome.
I love it so much. I think I saw it on your Instagram last night and I was like, she got ready for me.
Yeah.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be?
I think I would change the fact that everyone is super individualistic now.
Okay.
Because I feel like when people think just about themselves and not about the community, that's when, like, a lot of bad things happen. Because, like, that's where greed happens. That's where, like, wars happen and all these things, like, on a global level, but also injustices on an individual level, because people just think of themselves. So I think I would change that. And I feel like then everything will be fine.
We'll fix it.
We'll fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it would be like, I don't like war. And because of what's been happening since October 7th of last year, astaghfirullah, from last year, we got a glimpse, but you always know the glimpse isn't the whole picture.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to stop.
Yeah.
I want to stop, and if I could rewind and just let everything be, that would be great. Let's just stop killing each other on purpose.
I think that's it. Like that's the most important thing. It's really heartbreaking to see.
It is.
And not be able to do anything.
Exactly. And like for me, you know, like society pressured wise, everyone's like, when are you having a kid? And then I see what's happening to the children, and I'm like, no. It's safer being inside me.
Yeah. No, I like, you know, the last year I just cried so much.
Same.
Because of that. Like I don't have kids, but I'm just like,
You feel it.
yeah, you feel it, and you're just like, I can't. I don't want to bring them into a world where they don't care about the life of a child. I mean, they don't care about the life of a human, but as a child as well, that's like,
yeah, the videos of the children, it hurts to see what's happened, but that's what really like that was the catalyst to the tears for me. I just, to this day, I can't. I had to emotionally compartmentalize. I was like, I cannot look at social media like during my work week, unless it's to approve a post for the podcast. I will not scroll, because it hurts. And hurts me too much. And of course, it's nothing compared to what they're going through. But you know,
it's already tough to see. So you can't imagine how it is to experience.
Exactly. Okay, is it my turn?
Okay. Ooh, they're both really good. Okay.
Answer both of you.
Like, how do you handle periods of uncertainty and ambiguity in your life?
I panic a lot inside, but nobody knew this until I started actually mentioning it on the podcast, because people were always like, oh, you're so chill.
You're like, but if you only knew.
Yeah, like if you could hear my internalized thoughts, you'd be screaming. So now I'm more open about it, because also I don't want to like pretend I do have it all together, because I don't. But I feel like I consult the people that matter and that know what's best for me. So if it's a personal thing, I have my trio. It's my mom, my husband, and my best friend.
Yeah.
Maybe one of my sisters, depending on which sister I need advice from. But that's the main trio of like consultants, because I know I can trust them. Because also if you do bring up something you're feeling a little bit insecure or indecisive about, if you bring it up to the wrong person, it's gossip.
Right.
And I love to gossip. So I'm just not going to do that to myself. Right? I'm not even doing it from a hypothetical standpoint. Like, unless you want my best friend, my husband, and my mother to know, don't tell me things. You know, it's like, oh my God, did you hear?
Yeah.
You know, so that's the case. So I will consult with them, because they would know what's best for me. And then, like, let's say if it's a technical thing or a work-related thing or something out of my expertise, I would literally seek the person out, whether it's like going on a LinkedIn deep dive, looking at my network and just getting advice from them on what their take is on the topic, and then formulating a decision based on that. Yeah. And then also istikhara, sujood, like just seeing how all of that aligns, but I do take my time with it. Yeah. So I'm not when I make a decision, it's never in haste. It's actually very calculated. Even though people around me will feel like, oh, that was really quick and very sharp in her decision. Yeah. Like, feel like, oh my God, you were able to do that like that. I'm like, yes, because when I have made up my mind, that's it. But I take it into careful consideration with everything.
Yeah. For me, it's not the opposite, but I do it differently. I used to consult people, but then I realized that there are a lot of people who, like, they're people that I love and I'm very close to, but they have their anxieties. Yeah. And I don't want that projected onto me. And it's been where I have, you know, spoken to them. I wanted their advice and stuff like that. And their advice, now I realize, came from a place of anxiety and fear. And they're like, just do it because it's good. You know, it sounds good on paper. We want to make sure you're like stable or whatever it is. And then those were the decisions where I feel like, that was a bad decision because I didn't trust my gut.
Oh, so you went against what you felt because that's what somebody else invited you on.
Okay. So now I don't. I make the decision myself. I will talk to them once I'm like, I'll pretend like I don't know what I want, but I know what I want. And I just want to see, like, I want them to play devil's advocate because I know that they don't know that I've already made my decision. And I'll see where they're coming from. But yeah, it's istikhara. I pray to God on this. And I just tell God, if it's good for me, let it happen. If it's not, khalas, I'm okay. I'm like, I will accept the fact that it didn't work out. You know what I mean? And even with ambiguity, like if I don't know where my life is going, like I said, you know, earlier, I'm just okay. I'm okay with seeing where things take me. But I just keep trusting Allah. But that's like prayer is the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel you. We align on that a lot, even though we're both like got a few screws loose.
We had to go through it.
Yeah, we really did, honestly. Oh, why are all these blocks so tight? Oh, here we go. Okay, so my block says, where are you settling where you could be thriving?
Very interesting. I think for me, with my content, there are a lot of times where I feel like I'm just staying put with what I'm doing as opposed to branching out, either like taking on opportunities or asking for what I deserve, you know, or even just trying to, like, I always tell people, Annie, how do I explain this? I always have a marketer's eye. Like, I'm a marketer through and through. And even when it comes to, like, now people always come to me for consultations or advice, and I know exactly what to tell people, but I have so much fear in doing that for myself.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like auditing. And so I know, like, if I looked at an influencer, I'm like, she needs to do this, this, this. Maybe she needs to, you know, create this, start this business, whatever, and she's fine. Do it for yourself. No.
You know? Maybe you should just put yourself and detach from yourself.
Yeah.
And then consult yourself for yourself.
But
Does that make sense? Inception.
I'd like to thank me first.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but it's so hard for me to do that. And I can recognize that I am settling in that perspective, but I'm working on trying to get out of it. But it's just not as deep.
Do you feel like you know the answer to the step you should take to overcome that?
I do, but I have like it's like a paralysis.
Okay.
You know, where I'm like, I know what I'm supposed to do, but like I'm just so scared in doing it that I don't do it.
Are you open to receiving advice on this?
100%.
So I always ask this question because sometimes you give it unsolicited advice and then the person doesn't listen because they're not ready to listen.
Yes.
So I've experienced something very similar in my past with a bunch of things, and it's almost like you have imposter syndrome as well, because you're like, I don't trust myself, but you know, for everybody else. So instead of setting a due date, because when something is due for you to do, you're like, oh, you're dreading it.
Yeah.
So maybe set a start date. So go like on your calendar, just go. It's a simple trick. This is also what I taught the kids in the auditorium when I had to give them a motivational speech on procrastination after I admitted to them I procrastinated about creating the speech, to set a start date instead of a due date.
Right.
And then that's the date that you start. I'm going to do this. Do or die, you do it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm even giving you this advice is because you did that with your month of content.
Right.
So you did that. You're like 30 days, do or die, I'm doing it. So take your time, whether it's a week from now, 6 months from now, a year from now.
Yeah.
Just set a start date on your calendar if you're a calendar girl.
Yeah.
And this is the day you're going to start that.
Yeah.
No matter how scary it feels. And then you just have the anticipation versus, okay, well, I have to do this by this date and it's due on this date, so that's when I'll do it. Set a start date because new beginnings, fresh.
That's actually a nicer way of doing it because I do get anxious with deadlines. I'm like, oh my God, I need to finish it. But for you to start it makes it seem like a new adventure.
Exactly. So let's say that your due date is next Sunday.
Yeah.
So when would you be your ideal start date? So you can realistically not have a panic before it's due. This was a very small thing that helped me, but also helped a lot of other people when I did share that. So maybe that you can try that.
I'm going to try that.
If that doesn't work, we'll troubleshoot for something else.
I'll send you the voice note. I'm like, listen, I need your help right now.
Exactly. Make sure it's under 1 minute. Yeah, what our Instagram message is. But yeah, you can try that out, see how it feels. Set a start date instead of a due date.
I'm going to do that.
Can you recall a moment when you felt completely in tune with your intuition? So this was years and years and years ago. And I always felt like I was in tune with everything around me. And I know I'm going to sound like, you know, like a little hippie or something.
No, but it's the sound of God. It's the voice of God, your intuition.
Yeah.
It's Allah guiding you.
So it was me, it was my whole family. It was my mom, my dad, my 2 little sisters, and we were going to look at a property, and it was like a farm area. And I remember I remember thinking it was summer, because again, it's a bit of what happened stands out to me more than the timing. And I remember as we stepped in, it started raining, and I was like, oh, it rained in this country. We were in the UAE, and we were looking to either get this piece of land or something like that. And something just didn't sit right with me. And this is like spooky, eerie.
Yeah.
So my sisters are running around. They don't feel that they're both immune to the sounds of the universe. So they're running around. I was like, oh, no. They need to stay close. I need to see them. I need to at least hear or see them. And then my father is there. He doesn't feel this energy. I go to my mom. Both of us were like, something dark happened here. Is something wrong? We cannot be here. No.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where it came from me, because it wasn't a thought I had before. I just went to my dad, and he was speaking to the person who was showing us the place. I was like, how many women died in a fire here? Huh. And he was like, how did you know?
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, no, they're not happy here. I'm like, you need to pray a lot in this plot of land, because it just didn't feel right. So even for me, when we were looking for homes, it was so, everywhere we'd go, it looks like an amazing park or whatever. I'm like, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the praying has helped me a lot to tune the noises out. I sound like I could be like schizophrenic or something, but at the time this was the case. So I just choose to trust my gut. And if a place doesn't feel right, and I don't know what it is, I'm not the kind of person who believes or doesn't believe in certain things, but if something doesn't feel right, I just choose to listen to it. And for me in that moment, it was literally like there were what felt like unhappy spirits around us, and I was like, nope, unsettled.
Yeah.
And then if you have good in your life, they wouldn't want good for you, so it's just darkness. So that was me being in tune with my intuition, and I've had many more moments like that, but this isn't a ghost story podcast.
I feel like we need a whole other podcast for that, because I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I understand what you're saying. Like sometimes I have very strong intuition about something not being good, but then I will listen to external advice that say, look, on paper this is fantastic. Something happens, like I'll go with that decision, like, oh, it's like logic says. And then something bad happens, and I'm like, shit, I felt it.
Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah.
And you can't explain it. And your gut is your second brain.
Yeah.
But the brain forgets, the nervous system remembers.
Right.
Okay, your turn.
Ooh, my turn. Okay, I'm gonna do. Oh, nope.
You're like the first guest that loves to go for center blocks, just like me.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people are like, why are you picking the center? It's awful. I'm like
it's easier. Yeah. Okay, I have this one. My question. I'm asking you first. What is one quality you admire in others that you wish you had more of?
Belief in self. I seem very confident and very like, she knows what she's doing, which I'm very good at putting out there, but belief in self and self-love. I actually don't really like myself a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a very negative internal dialogue of what I look like, my body weight, what I sound like. I don't even like my voice actually sometimes. So like I internally belittle myself a lot, which again, I've never mentioned this on the show before. So I'm very cruel to myself.
Yeah.
So I don't need other people outside telling me, you're fat, your voice is squeaky. Like,
then it validates what you've been saying to yourself.
Yeah. So actually my internalized thoughts I'm very mean to myself, but I'm everyone else's cheerleader.
Right.
So when I do see someone that actually is like loves themselves, that truly, and you can see it, they have a different glow about them. I'm like, must be nice.
I wonder what that feels like.
I've tried so hard. COVID was a turning point for me. Like I hired a life coach, I had a public speaking coach. So I worked on myself a lot, and I'm still working with my life coach. And she's like, you are so mean to yourself.
Yeah.
And my husband is the only other person who has seen it.
Yeah.
Because he lives with me, So he's seen that negative dialogue that I have to myself, about myself. Like even with the podcast, I'd gaslight myself. I'm like, nah, I could be better. Yeah, I could do this better. It's a tiny, I'm such a perfectionist and a detail-oriented person. Like, this wasn't,
Yeah.
So, so I just, I have that. And also the lack of belief in self. sometimes I feel like I'm doing things, but it's like I put myself on autopilot. I'm like, just go.
Yeah.
Just go. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so it would be nice to believe in myself and like myself a little bit better. So yeah.
I understand that. Like when you say that negative self-talk, my husband's like, why do you do this to yourself? And I'm like, because, you know?
Yeah.
And you need like other people, like even, you know, I used to go to therapy, things like that. It's the same thing. Like you have a lot of negative internal dialogue, but it takes, I'm not saying it's all gone, but like it takes a long time. You have to do a lot of work to be able to.
Yeah. And you have to remind yourself, like, for me, the therapy that helped me was we did some hypnosis work, and she's like, would you, and she's like, imagine a little Jouhayna in front of you, like the one where for the trauma hit.
Yes.
So I visualize her. She's like this cute little girl in a princess dress and ringlets, because I used to love wearing princess dresses.
Yeah.
And like, because I'm a princess, but I used to act like Dolly. Like, I was like a caring, like I would like care for everyone, but I would act like a little boy. Like I was such a little tomboy, but princess dresses, you know? So I would visualize that little girl, and she's like, would you say all these things to her? I'm like, no, of course not. So now when I'm being mean to myself, I'm like, would you say that to like 7-year-old Jouhayna?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I wouldn't. So now I just talk to myself like I'm a little girl.
But she's listening.
Yeah, she is listening.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. It's a process that I'm still working on.
Yeah.
And even though I've been working on it for years, you know, and then it doesn't help that when I was bigger, this whole pretty privilege thing.
Yeah.
When I was bigger, people literally didn't see me. Like, doors would slam in my face unless my husband's with me or whatever, because people literally don't see you.
Yeah.
Now suddenly, oh, everyone's smiling and so nice because I lost a little bit of weight. But then that validates you. You're like, oh, I wasn't good enough then. I'm still not good enough because I still need to lose some more weight. And then, you know, some of the doctors, like I've changed doctors a lot with my weight journey, because one I went to was like, oh, you're doing great. You're building muscle. You're losing fat. I went to another one. He's like, oh, you've lost muscle, but you've put on fat and you need to lose 30 more kilos. I was like, I've already lost 20. You want me to lose 30 more?
Oh, mashallah.
I am going to just eat gummy bears to like pass out.
I had a doctor say that to me. Like last year, because I'm also like on my weight loss journey. And this doctor I just go to, she's like, you're fat. You need to do gastric bypass. I'm like,
no.
I'm like,
that's the same thing I got.
But she was so harsh, you know? And I'm like, I understand this whole tough love thing, but like from a woman to a woman, that's so damaging. You know what I mean?
It's so damaging.
Yeah. They're like,
oh, it is awful. So yeah. Ugh. Like, so I don't need people telling me I'm not great, because it's a little battlefield in my head already.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I just try to filter it out, you know? Like sometimes I'll have this like talk with my, you know, my brother or my husband. I'm like, they said this, but like, who are they? You know, like, look at me. Yeah. I'm like, what do they think they have?
Exactly.
No, just so you can feel like, because then once I talk about it, I realize that people sometimes project their insecurity onto you if they say mean things.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also a cultural thing. Like, you're like, you got better.
Yeah.
You got a little bit bigger. But they also mention you've lost the weight as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a body image thing of, let's keep the commentary to world events.
Exactly. Like, don't mention my body.
Yeah.
Like,
and there was a thing that I was hanging out with my girlfriends recently, like, oh, so great. It was so wholesome because both of us are shift workers, and because I'm off, we can align with her schedule. And my other friend is a remote worker, so she works only at night.
Yeah.
So it's just nice. So we just hung out for 3 days straight, and it was amazing. And then we were talking about this, and she goes, if somebody can't change what you're about to comment on in the next 5 seconds, don't say it.
Yeah.
So she's like, if you see something in my teeth, it's out, done.
Yes.
So
no, that's a really good one. I feel like we need to teach society to teach people.
Exactly.
This is how we should raise our kids.
Yeah, like if you can't change it in 5 seconds, don't tell them.
Yeah.
You want me to lose 30 kilos in 5 seconds?
I mean, if I can, I would.
Yeah. What about you?
So what is the one quality that I admire in others that I wish I had more of? I'd say discipline. I do not have good discipline with myself. Like, I admire my husband because, mashallah, he has such good discipline. Like, he's, you know, like he'll diet, he'll go to the gym, you know, and I'm just like, I wish I had that.
And yeah, my husband is the same.
Yeah. Like, I admire when I see people have such strong discipline with themselves, because like you can achieve more. I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah. Skip.
Yeah. You know, and I'm like, I give up. I'll have another, like, you know, like I'll do a new thing.
Yeah.
But I know it takes so much out of someone to do so. So I really admire it. I wish I had more discipline, because I feel like then maybe I could be a better version of myself, because I'd be, you know, maybe healthier, or I'd be more, like I'd get more things done, because like I can figure out my time, because I'm a little chaotic. So.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I think just to implement the start date thing, because it's such a small thing.
Yeah.
To see how it goes. Because baby steps, we can't change things in 5 seconds.
Obviously not, no. Like okay, so let me put this here.
Okay. All right. Can I one?
No.
You know, it's because we went not for the foundation at the bottom. Oh. I don't even.
Girl, you're living life on the edge.
The danger. What is your perspective on the intersection of technology and human connection?
I feel like a lot of people give the online community such a bad rap. I understand when people are so consumed with being online that they don't know how to connect with people offline. But I feel like there's also a lot of judgment when it comes to people who have found their community online. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like okay, when I see kids on their phones, or even us, like I'm just sitting there sometimes, I'm doom scrolling. That's really bad, especially when I'm around people. Like me and my husband have this problem with each other where we're constantly doom scrolling when we're supposed to spend time together.
Quality time, yeah.
So it's something that we're both actively working on. But at the same time, I don't want to discredit the online community, because I have found people we found each other on the online community. You know what I mean?
My whole podcast is built off the people I know online.
Exactly. And like for example, you know, I have ADHD, right? So I have found communities online, like let's say on Reddit or whatever, of women who are also, you know, they also have ADHD. They're struggling. We share our anecdotes, our stories, what worked, what didn't work, etc. So there's so much beauty in finding your community somewhere on this planet, you know, like with people, connecting with people from all over the world. So I feel like having that is so beautiful, but it can also, like, if you don't take care of your time online, it can also affect your human connections. I feel like it's all about self-reflection. You have to make sure that you're not too consumed online, but you're also not too consumed offline, because then you won't get to meet those people that you would have if you met them online. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that is so true. And I agree with you. Like, I feel like I had a very toxic relationship with my phone, where it's similar to you. I'm hanging out, like, not even this generation where I'm hanging out with my husband. I'm hanging out with my mom. Yeah. My mom loves to scroll. She loves it. And while I'm sat next to her, like, I made a group chat with me, my mom, and my best friend.
Yeah.
And she will just she'll send the same video to me, Sarah, and the group chat we're on. I'm like, Ma, it's too many notifications.
Yeah.
Please, I've made us a group chat because you send Sarah and I the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, because we actually hang out as a trio.
Oh,
like,
that's so cute.
We got along so well. Like, even for my mom's birthday, like, legit, I was working and Sarah's like, oh, I'm taking her on a staycation. Oh, they went to Bulgaria. They had a great time.
That's so cute.
Like, a stand-up comedy night. I was like, take her, please. You know? And the fact that my mom likes someone, it's the first friend she's ever liked.
Oh, that's so cute.
You know? So I'm just like, this is very beautiful. So that's why, like, you know, but my mother, going back to the point, she loves to just scroll. Yeah. She sits next to me, she scrolls. I'm like, Mom, let's hang out. She's like, wait a minute. Yeah. So then I noticed that in myself, because, you know, genetics, like, I did the same thing. Like, I would sit right next to her and we've taken the time to hang out, like, literally on the couch there. We're just sat on opposite sides doom scrolling. Then I'm like, so Ma, what's happening? And then we'll have a conversation, we'll go back to it. So when I noticed it, so when you notice something that you don't like in yourself, then you have two choices. You can either continue and just, like, self-loathe, or you can choose to change it. I was like, okay, I need to acknowledge that I am blessed to have a phone that literally is so much knowledge at my fingertips. And I love to learn things, and I'm not the kind of person, like, I did my bachelor's degree because I was told to get my bachelor's degree, like, deeply ingrained in my family values of you must be educated. I'm like, I'm so educated at HEC. However, I needed mainstream education. So I got my bachelor's, but then with my master's, I was like, no, I'm just going to start a podcast. But then the decision that I made was to learn from my phone. So I have an app called Blinkist. I listen to books condensed into 15 to 20 minutes.
MashaAllah.
So, you know, I had a guest on the show recently who spoke about egg freezing, and I knew she was going to quiz me on the female anatomy and like eggs. So I just listened to that while I was getting ready in the morning. So I mixed that together with the way the human body works. So I'm like, okay, in the morning, that's when my brain is fresh and I can learn more. So that's when I listen to educational, but like concrete educational, like books and everything. Then when I'm like, okay, I want to learn something educational, but in a more casual form, that's when I'll switch over to a podcast when I'm doing my commutes and things like that. And then also it's helped me a lot of my journey back to Islam.
Right.
So, you know, the namaz app that I mentioned, I'll put it in my earpiece, and then I learned how to pray with that. And then with that, I learned so many other surahs I wouldn't have learned because I'm listening through the application. And then there's also a dua app that I use at night.
Yeah.
So instead of using it to doom scroll and everything, when I do realize I'm doing that, I told myself, do it, but notice when you're doing it.
Right.
And then, okay, do you want to switch and do something educational, or do you want to cave and just whatever, like scroll?
Yeah.
So that's literally what I did. So I was like, I will doom scroll on my phone, but I have created like a whole page of education.
Yes.
And how can I better myself, and how can I learn something new versus doom scrolling on social media.
You're also like training your algorithm to give you things that are beneficial, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, so yeah, so I feel like we have a great source of knowledge in our hands. I don't see it as something that'll bring you down, but something that'll elevate you.
Yes.
Should you choose to allow it to elevate you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's how you use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Ooh. Girl. No. Swear.
Because we literally rattled the foundation from the get-go.
Then I guess we're going from here. Whoops. Okay. I like this question. Jouhayna. Share a time you fought for yourself.
I feel like I fight for myself every day in a sense of with different battles.
Yeah.
Even with anything else. Like before, we used to be okay with anybody messing me around, or like if something is not to a certain standard, I would let it go.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Right.
You know, even in friendship, like I mentioned, I have like 2 friends that I'm really close to that I check up on often. It's because before I had so many friends and they took advantage of me, and they were very, when they couldn't take advantage of me anymore, I just kind of got iced out and everything. And before I was just like, oh, that's not fair. Like, oh, what happened? What can I do to be better? What can you do to be better?
Right.
That's me, again, fighting for myself, which I never did. So I will always fight hard for everybody around me, but I never did that for myself. So even if it's, even if to tell people no is me fighting for myself.
Right.
This is not good enough for me.
Yeah.
Because and as I mentioned before, I never felt good enough. So I'm like, I accept and I deserve less than, even though I've noticed it's not to the standard that it should be.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I love that for you.
No.
Yeah.
One word.
No, but that's
one
sometimes
sentence. Exactly.
It's so hard to say no.
It is.
It is so hard, especially as a woman. It's you've been conditioned to be like, how can I make everything better and make everyone like me? Yeah.
Exactly. And seek that external validation of the good girl syndrome.
Yes.
I was always a good girl, compliant. Jouhayna is such a good girl. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think I've had very similar experiences over my lifetime, yani. Before, I wouldn't fight for myself, and I would always like kind of let people cross boundaries so that I can keep the peace, so people can like me, you know?
That spot on.
Yeah. And now I don't take any bullshit. Like, I feel like, yani, if some place is toxic, or if a relationship is not serving me. When I say serving me, it sounds very selfish, but I mean, like, if it's draining me, I can't. Like, life is too short for me to have people either take advantage of me or for me to stress out.
Exactly.
Life is already stressful. I already have so many responsibilities. If, let's say, it's a personal relationship, I don't have the capacity to take on more stress, you know?
Exactly.
So I step away from those situations. If it's a work thing, if it's, you know, a project thing, whatever it is, if something causes me more stress than it needs to, then I step away, you know? And I know that a lot of people aren't happy with that. You know, like I get comments here and there from people. They're like, yeah, but like, why are you quitting? Or why are you just dropping it? I'm like, life's too short. I'm protecting my peace.
Exactly.
I don't want to look back on my life and be like, oh, I was unhappy for most of it because I chose to keep the peace as opposed to keeping the peace in the air.
Exactly. And you're being so considerate of everyone else's peace, but are they being considerate of yours?
Exactly, you know? And at the end of the day, it becomes better. Like I've been put in those situations before where I've, you know, chosen to step away or chosen to like, you know, quit or whatever it is. And, you know, people be like, no, but we can work on it or whatever, or, you know, and I'm just like, but it's good for you too, you know, because like maybe this just didn't work out. Like maybe this dynamic didn't work or this workspace, like why, like if I was an employee or like whatever it is, like why would you want me if we're not in sync? You can find someone, replace someone, like it'll be better for you. So I think people need to also have have that ability to let go. I think not a lot of people have that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you.
But yeah.
Okay. So let's play speed Jenga. So just Jenga the way it's designed until the tower falls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I don't think it's gonna last very long.
No.
Anyway. Oh, that was such an easy block setting. Okay. Your turn.
Okay.
Shit.
I felt like Jane was like actively not losing, you know, just like no.
To be honest, I'm not even a sore loser. I was competitive when I was doing my air traffic program, and then after I succeeded there, I was like, I don't care about anything. I will lose, and it's not even a loss.
Yeah, fudge
Cakes.
Oh, bismillah. Okay.
Okay. You know, we're allowed to do that. Last completed story.
What do you mean?
So if you can pick from anything under the last completed story. So that's also a. This is honestly, this is one of the tougher towers.
We've been having so much fun.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I know. Who am I talking to? My head.
That's not your oh.
It's your turn. Shit, that was such an easy one.
I like loosened it. Like while you were going, I thought I was gonna help you, and then you helped yourself, and I was like, I'll help myself.
You'd be like, well, you thought. Just like, watch me. I've played this so many times.
And I only play when the show is on.
Just like, I'm an expert.
Oh no! My LinkedIn. Oh wait. You know, I think you can do it. You just need to slowly.
It won't tick tick tick.
No,
it's such a fragile. Like my ego. Oh my god. No, none of your sneezing here.
I know. I was
like none of that. Bismillah.
Yeah, no, you can do it. Just more upwards than downwards. Yeah. Like a surgeon.
Which is why I did not become a doctor. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so stressed out. Sweat. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, let me make it good for you so you can learn. Put your.
That's so nice.
Yeah, I'm thoughtful like that.
Oh. My hands are sweating, just sitting.
Her palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. Ooh.
Wait. I don't think it's gonna. I accept. Oh no. Okay, wait.
Stop. I am not competitive, but like right now I am.
I bring things out in people.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to win. It's not that I want to win. I want to not be the Jenga. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, I'm a people pleaser. I don't want to be the Rita.
It's okay. I want you to make a mess. Honestly, I don't even know how I got that one.
I don't either.
Yeah.
No! Jenga!
Oh. Okay, so pick a random block.
Oh, pick a random block?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't like them, you can pick another one.
What did you... Okay, wait. What did you dream... What did you daydream about as a child that you would like to make as a reality as an adult?
So as a child, I never knew what I wanted to do with my life. Like, I would mention professions and just be like, doctor. And they're like, oh, I want to be a scientist. It's going to be hard, but yes. So I always, again, people pleaser child.
Yeah.
So I would always do that. But then I always had this like fantasy, and I was like, this is so weird because I've never verbalized this before. So much has come out this shoot with you.
I feel like, this has been a therapy session. I love it.
So it's like the set of Powerpuff Girls, so like Powerpuff Girl drawings. Mm-hmm. And there's this like really cool, like futuristic house / building. So it's like where I work, but where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so rich. Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't have to worry about money, because growing up we had to worry about money a little bit. And now it's like, the only goal I have in life is to just not worry about the bill.
Right.
Do I have savings? Who knows? Yeah. But I don't want to stress like, oh no, all of those things. So as a child, and I loved Powerpuff Girls and watching it, it was a Powerpuff Girls cartoon, like cool house and everything, but it's also where I work, and it's like super cool. Like people come and they're like, wow,
Yeah.
And I just felt rich. You couldn't see my money because it was a secret.
Yeah, no, because she's what is it called? Quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet money, like old money. Like,
yeah, exactly. So it was more of like a safety and security thing than anything else. So that doesn't benefit anyone other than me and like anybody in my direct vicinity of sharing, because I love to share anyway. So that would be for some reason, it's a childhood memory more than anything else.
Yeah.
That was the question anyway.
Oh, what did you daydream about as a child that you'd like to make a reality?
Yeah, so I want my Powerpuff Girls house.
And you're working on it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this was just alhamdulillah, with the career that I landed in with air traffic control. It was a career that I picked, and I had to, again, go into my masculine energy, step up as first child syndrome, let me take care of mama and my 2 little sisters kind of thing. So I feel like that enabled me in that sense, because the building I work in actually looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like very futuristic looking, and, so I kind of did have that become a reality. But so alhamdulillah, I feel like it actually kind of did happen.
Yeah.
But just not in cartoon Powerpuff setting.
But it's good. You manifested it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Since I was a little girl, because I never knew what I wanted to do. And it makes sense that hardly anybody knows what air traffic control is. So how would I know as a little kid what air traffic is?
Right.
So it kind of just worked, and like my cartoon did manifest itself. So yeah, this is supposed to be like, world peace kind of question. I'm like, Powerpuff Girls house.
Oh no, it's okay. I assumed, because I was like, well, you're getting me shocked by what I say next. I always wanted to be Oprah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like I was obsessed. Like I was obsessed with. What 7-year-old child is obsessed with Oprah? I was.
You know what? The note on my phone to create this podcast was, I didn't know what I was going to call the podcast.
Yeah.
I just knew I was going to start a podcast and have like a show, but when did it be around? And it was become Arab Oprah. Except for that.
Oprah. I thought you were going to be like, I'm going to be Jopra. It's even better. one day when she makes that the thing, I want the royalties. That's all I want.
I will take 10%.
Yeah, like I'm not even. I'm just like 2%.
And it also too. Not for what you deserve.
Well, then I deserve. But I wanted to be. I didn't know what that was, but I wanted to be Oprah, or I wanted to be. I'm gonna show myself to be so nerdy. I wanted to either be Oprah or Richard Quest.
Who's Richard Quest?
The guy from CNN who travels.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, now he does business stuff. He's like he was like a CNN host, and he used to have like a travel show. And I was 7 years old. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. So I can watch CNN.
Oh my gosh.
Like I was one of those kids. So we're just a little different. So yeah, I've always wanted to be, like, I knew I always wanted to be a host or to do something because I love telling stories. And I love exploring, and I love the fact that like Richard Quest would go travel and explore the world and try different foods and see. And I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. I want to be a travel reporter or whatever. But then I also used to love Oprah because like she used to also get to know, like, share stories, get to know different like perspectives of different people. Like I just enjoyed that aspect, but I never thought that I would go into this field. Like I studied, like I entered university wanting to be an architect. So it was like, Oprah doesn't live here, but then just things changed, and then I became a marketer. So when I started doing content, I remember one of my friends was like, oh, like, I remember before you said you wanted to be Oprah, and like you're on your way to doing that. And I was like, I never thought of that. So yeah, like that's what I wanted to do.
So my first comment is my weird show as a kid was Animal Planet because I loved animals.
Yeah.
So I love it. Even till now, David Attenborough,
Yes.
favorite. But then even with what your friend mentioned, like with everything we've spoken about, because I'm a person you physically has met only today.
Yes.
But I do feel like you are doing that. You truly are. You can be a traveling influencer, podcaster.
Yeah.
Like it's. I feel like it's all aligning that way. Have you ever made a vision board?
I have, and I do, and I used to have it on my phone, and then people started seeing it because like I leave my phone, they're like, what is this? Because like I would create a collage. So I'm like, it's now not there, but I would do, like, it's in my room now.
All right. I was gonna say, I'm like, I like a vision board. Mine isn't pretty. Mine is literally bullet points, black and white, like my art. Black and white. Just of like what my goals are, what I would want, and even if it's like the wildest thought of like, I think in one corner, it's Paris Hilton and Oprah had a love child.
Oh,
that is my like.
That's hot.
And you get a car. Exactly. I'm like, you all get cars, and that's hot. The air conditioner's on in all your cars. So I just that's why I was asking you about the vision board, because I feel like I wrote it over a year ago and I left it. So it's actually in the guest room.
Yeah,
I don't go in. It's like that room is like a game room for Andy, a guest room. If we have guests, it's I have a walking treadmill, so I can like a standing desk. And the other day I actually just stopped and I looked to the wall and I was like, oh, I forgot I even wrote this.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of aligning with everything that has been happening over the last
year. Journal. So I had the journal, and I remember I started journaling in 2016 and I'd write all these things and I forgot about it because I don't read back. And then a couple of years ago, I read my journal again, and all of the things that I just decided to go back and see. And I was like, I didn't realize that I actually achieved the things that I wanted to do, that I was like, I want to do this one day, like it just khalas, it sits in your subconscious. It's I do love journaling and vision boards and stuff like that, like giving yourself a dream.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't journaled because my sisters used to read my journal. So now I don't,
you're like trust issues.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's in my head. Yeah. So maybe I should get back into that because my sisters don't live with me anymore.
Unless your dogs read.
Yeah, exactly. One is 15. He's mature.
Oh, okay.
So he can read. Oh, thank you so much for sharing everything that you did. I honestly I feel like we got along really well and we have great banter, but also we were able to like have serious conversations in the moments that we did have that. So thank you for being such an amazing guest.
Thank you for being such an amazing host. I love this and I love this game.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I thought about this when I was having a massage, and I literally told her to pause, and I like got up and I was like,
oh, so you pressed pause?
I pressed pause on here. And I just like wrote it out, and then I came out of the massage and I texted Sarah straight away. I was like, do you think this will be a vibe? And she's like, yes. So she helped me actually pick some questions as well. Yeah, I made a list and then we curated it together.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much.
So fun.
I'm so happy you liked it. And for everybody else who's watching, I hope you liked it too. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next week, inshallah.